During his campaign, Governor Jay Inslee said he would not raise taxes, but now we're hearing something different. What are you hearing from the new governor?
Well, less than 24 hours after he was sworn in, he's already talking about breaking his new tax pledge. But the kicker is here, he has said that if you take and extend an existing tax, which we have some temporary taxes that are supposed to expire this year, that is not a new tax. That's almost like saying, you know, what the definition of is isn't is. I mean, it's crazy. People are tired of broken promises in this place. And I think it really gets back to the government not wanting to live within its means. And so I'm very concerned going forward this session that, again, we are going to be butting up against this the entire time during session. The biggest thing in my mind has been that several times this body has voted to do away with 960 or any of the Taxpayer Protection Act pledges. And once again, we're seeing the same thing. 1185, I keep going back to, was voted overwhelmingly in every county in the state to say, hey, get the state to live within its means. If you need to raise taxes, it needs to be a 2/3 majority. And so I'm really concerned that that's going to be another thing tested this legislative session. And of course, we still have the court decision out there and whether or not the Supreme Court is going to uphold it. And frankly, if they don't, I think our state's going to be in real trouble in terms of protecting the taxpayers.
The House Republican caucus is once again releasing its Fund Education First proposal. You support this effort. Why is that?
Well, first of all, in our state constitution, funding education is our paramount duty. And in my mind, we have continued to basically make our education funding compete with the general fund. And really what it ought to be is it ought to be a separate budget done first before anything else, and what's left over goes to fund, you know, taking care of all our vulnerable citizens, taking care of our public safety. It's about prioritization. And if you continue to make our education funding compete with the general budget, our kids are getting the last dime, not the first dollar. Now, there's a lot of ways that we can look at this, and I'm excited to see what comes about this session. Obviously, with the Supreme Court decision, that's changed the game. But in my mind, we need to look at the system as it exists today and say, are our reforms working? Are what our teachers are expected to do working? Are our kids learning? So I really support funding that education first. And it's very interesting when you talk to the other side, they don't want to do that. So we'll see how session goes. We got a hearing on it last year. It didn't go anywhere. Stay tuned.